loading snacks.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Finisher Podcast, powered by Loading Snacks, where wrestling meets pop culture, and we don't just talk about it, we finish it. It's your boy Jokes. I got the homie Marcus with me, and we're here breaking down some of the biggest matches, moments, and everything between shaping the culture, from the opening bell to the 10-minute teardown. Hey, I got to throw it in like that because if you guys aren't already following us on Instagram, I would highly recommend you go ahead, follow us there, because every Monday and Friday after Raw and SmackDown, our good friend Kay is hosting the 10-minute teardown where he just goes in and just talks about the events of what happened after the show's end on there for it. And then, of course, if you want to follow along with Loading Snacks and get some more geeky stuff from movies, anime, and gaming, make sure you hop on over to loadingsnacks.com where all of this comes together under one roof. Marcus, I think we can go ahead and jump into things. How are you feeling?
Yes, sir. I'm feeling good, man. It's a beautiful, stormy, rainy day.
It heading a little bit in the afternoon. Like, I love when that rain comes in, like, cools thing down a little bit. Like, it hasn't been ridiculously hot, but it's been like that just uncomfortable, humidity, disgusting type feel over here. So I welcome a little rain. And I was indoors because I was at work all day, so I didn't really get none of that until after I got ready to get off. But we're here. We're gonna brighten things up now because we're gonna talk about some good old fashioned wrestling happening out here. And there's a lot of topics, a lot of things going on right now. I think biggest thing right now coming from the WWE side, which I want to have a little bit of a discussion on, is the King and Queen of the Ring, because we have, as of tonight, we have hit the end and we're going into the finals that will be happening at Night of Champions, coming from Saudi Arabia, which is happening this weekend, if I'm not mistaken. I believe that is actually this weekend. I gotta double check.
Yeah, it's actually this weekend.
Oh, God, time is moving so quick.
28th, right?
Yeah, so it's gotta be this weekend. Like, I'm losing track of, like, when these things pop up so quickly now. It's like, it seems like, especially with the Saudi Arabia pay-per-views, because it's like 2 pay-per-views in a month, because they'll have like the regular one and they do the Saudi Arabia one.
I mean, I forgot that Raw was live at 2 o'clock this afternoon.
I did too. And I started getting pop-ups and I was just like, wait, what? And I was like, oh, I'm pretty sure it was in the UK. And I was just like, dang. So I saw a few parts of it, but nothing crazy. So I'm not tripping. We'll follow up, but obviously I know the results enough of the King and Queen of the Ring to know what we need to talk about and really focus on, because the brackets go up and yeah, things are there for it. So I know we've had a brief conversation about the King of the Ring and kind of where we were thinking things were going to go. And I feel like with some of the other conversations we've had about some other things that have been happening, I think we're getting a clear view of potentially what may transpire, at least what I think is going to end up going down by the time Night of Champions is over. So we'll jump on to both sides. So we'll start with the men's side first. Let's make sure we got the right. Yeah, here we go. So we now know what our finals match is, and it's going to be Oba Femi versus Jey Uso. And kind of solid where we've gotten to. For a moment, I honestly thought that Javon Evans was actually going to get the push. But I guess in order to make it a little more believable, we have Jey Uso in the final. Because honestly, I feel like Oba Femi would have destroyed Javon Evans. No matter, he's good, he's great, he's doing well. Oba would end up walking all over him. We don't even see that right now, because my man is on the up and up right now. But obviously with Jey Uso in the mix, putting him back into an opportunity to get him to another world championship, I feel like Jey is going to be the stepping stone. Listen, tonight Oba said something, my man struck a nerve with Jey. Because, Jey went on, talking about he going to take him out. He going to win. He going to go on so he can compete for the championship. In my mind, Oba was just like, literally, listen, don't miss. It's like if you miss, I'm coming for you. If you don't miss, I'm still gonna take you out. But you ain't the family member that I'm really worried about right now. So, and when he
Yep.
said that, it was just like that struck a chord.
What you mean?
my man struck a chord. He told yo, take your bullets and give them to your cousin. So obviously, like, listen, Oba ain't afraid of nobody.
Nope.
But with the two of them in the mix, obviously, I feel like Oba's gonna take this victory. Like I don't see Jey Uso beating Oba Femi. This match should be straight up. I don't think we should see any shenanigans that'll happen. There is the small chance, obviously, that Brock will show up, but honestly, I don't think he's gonna do it. If he does, it would just be after the fact, and I think if they were to have Brock interfere, it just shows how much stronger Oba Femi really is to still take that victory. But walk with me on this one.
Okay.
Oba wins, King of the Ring,
Okay.
punches his ticket to SummerSlam to be able to compete for which I'm considering is going to be the World Heavyweight Championship to take on Roman Reigns. I still believe we're going to get that third match between Brock Lesnar and Oba Femi at SummerSlam. What do you think of Oba pulling double duty? SummerSlam is 2 nights.
I mean, I can see. I wouldn't be mad at it either.
And let's be real, Brock opening the show. So, Oba versus Brock to open night 1. And then Oba versus Roman to close out night 2 for the championship.
Yeah, that's a really strong possibility, especially with how it's looking for Oba. So, and to be fair, if they're making him out to be the new monster of WWE, then it makes sense for him to pull double duty.
See if he can carry that weight.
Yep. Because if he can do it, then it shows that there's that higher level of trust.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, it's just like, okay, you're good, you're healthy, you didn't injure nobody, crowd was still engaged. All right, we can go ahead and give you like the full push.
Yeah, because right now Oba's selling it. He got the mic work, he got the ring work. Like I'm down to see my man get an opportunity to be a main card champion. And I think he's about to get that nod. Now, him versus Roman, if we get to that, I'm not ready to make a definitive decision on that yet, because I think that match could easily go either way. And one, it would be crazy to see Roman lose the championship right now with the bloodline starting to get reestablished and get a foothold of doing things again. It would be crazy to see that, but it is obviously a possibility that Oba does beat Roman when it comes time for it. But I do see Oba's going to have a little bit of a stack card against him, because obviously he takes out Jey Uso now. That bad blood will still be there by the time we end up getting to SummerSlam, which could obviously have bloodline members interfering in the match, like old school. Like, obviously, Jacob is a loose cannon right now and will obviously go after anybody. So Oba's going to have the cards stacked against him if he's able to make that and end up being him versus Roman. So I like the catalyst. I like the catalyst from him. And then, you know what? I wouldn't be upset if Oba ended up losing this match, because he ends up getting double duty. If he takes on Brock, I do think he defeats Brock. Obviously, this would be what I'm assuming to be Brock Lesnar's final match. Obviously, SummerSlam is in Minneapolis, so it's in his hometown. It makes sense for this to be where the bow gets put on. And if he's to put somebody over, I think Oba Femi is the one. He already took the 1L in what we thought was him retiring at Mania, which was
Now that
completely
contract was
left
too
field.
strong.
Um, I think this is where we see that deal get sealed and Oba gets that extra push on it. So um, I do think there was some solid matchups within the King of the Ring, and sometimes I feel like now I don't want to say the King of the Ring is it's rushed. I feel like it just doesn't have the same pomp and circumstance that it used to have in the past. But now that they're getting, the championship opportunity at SummerSlam, I do like the weight now that King of the Ring has. Because I would say probably after the last 5 years, since they just started to kind of revitalize and make the King of the Ring, eligible for like getting a championship opportunity. You got a crown, and most of the time you got lost in the shuffle. Like I felt bad for Zelina, winning, and then
Xavier
not really.
Woods.
Yeah, Xavier Woods, the two of them winning and not really getting utilized for it. So I do think this is a good stepping stone to get Oba in place and to potentially be that ruler that he is. And with him at the top, like there's a whole bunch of feuds that we could potentially go through. Like Oba versus Randy. So, Randy's been out right now. So, it'll be cool. I'll be happy when we get to see Randy back in action again. But Oba versus Randy could be pretty cool. Uh, Outside, like, I feel like any of the other, like, Sami Zayn, I feel like he would absolutely demolish Sami Zayn.
Oba versus Rusev.
Rusev could be cool, but that's going to be a squash match, unfortunately. Rusev is back in that position that I was hoping that when he signed a new WWE contract, he wasn't going to be the jobber. Oh, I don't want to say a jobber, but he's not. I don't like where he's at right now. Like I feel like he should definitely be. They had him in the middle of the Intercontinental for a little bit, but he felt out of place, especially in that ladder match. It was like when they had like he was everybody else was a luchador, high flyer, mixing, and then this Rusev. Like, did he belong in the championship picture? Yes. Was that probably the
The
wrong
worst match to have
picture?
him in. Yeah.
Yeah. Because it was just like, powerhouse versus all these high flyers, but whatever. But I think this is definitely going to be the push for Oba right now. Now, if by some chance, you know what, flip the script. Obviously, Brock Lesnar interferes and ends up causing Oba the match, and then Jey wins. There's no two ways. Jey is going to end up going after Cody for the WWE Championship. There's no way I see him right now with the way they're doing. I don't see him going after Roman. The bloodline is becoming strong once again. They all have trust in one another. Oh, somewhat trust. I feel like they're still kind of got each other at arm's length. I can see him going after Cody, but as much as they are friends, I feel like there may be a little bit of I don't know, tension between not on Cody's side, but probably on Jay's side, because he's been moody the last couple weeks. Obviously, LA Knight has been like another. We're revisiting that whole entire thing where he was like, you guys are going back to the bloodline, you're going back to the way things were, you're about to do things all over again with the dude that honestly had no respect for you, but now it seems like there is that respect. Um, and I guess we would see Jay versus Cody at SummerSlam, and I don't know. I'm not as enthused with Cody versus Jay at SummerSlam, and I don't know if that's a bad thing or if that's just a product of because of where we're currently at. Obviously,
I
they
think it's a
have
product of
history.
where we're currently at. With
Yeah.
the product, and like since like we don't know like where like this bloodline, like all right, they're not really faces or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we push the envelope without hurting neither Jay nor Cody? And truth be told, like I could see them letting Jey win, but making Cody turn heel, or this is the catalyst that was just like, all right, Jey may not be a part of like the bloodline because he's about to turn heel.
I don't think so. I feel like Cody right now is kind of in that John Cena space where right now turning him heel is probably not best for business. I still think Cody is one of the top merchandise movers, even though we would love to see the heel side of Cody. I don't think we see that flip just yet. I can see Jey end up becoming a heel before Cody does, and Jey ends up being like this weird element vibe in the bloodline because he is. I mean, they're Roman right now is kind of they're kind of skating the line, like where they're not necessarily the faces, but they're not quite the heels just yet. They're right in the middle of it,
Mm-hmm.
and with the strength, like honestly, I don't know if you saw this or not. Apparently, WWE Japan may have spoiled something and posted something inadvertently that they shouldn't have, but they have posted Tonga Tonga and Talatonga as members of the bloodline. And apparently whatever that post was got yoinked like really quickly. So I don't know, like obviously Tama's been in this weird spot where it's like, obviously he's not melding with Solo in them as much. And so it seems like maybe we're going to get him to make that transition over. Inevitably, I feel like they're all going to end up falling under Roman Reigns' banner once again. And then it's just going to be another powerhouse bloodline team, which I know a lot of people probably don't want to see. If done right, I am kind of interested again. Like the bloodline was probably the top feud over the last, let's say, what were we at, 6 years, minus 2 out of there when he did lose the championship. So I feel like we may be going back in that direction again for the powerhouse team. Now, the one thing I would like to see is them introduce some of the women also into the bloodline as well too, because I would like, if they're going to do
Maternity
that,
leave.
I would like to see them at least at one point own all the gold, and I mean and run with it. If they could get it at least once and do it, I would be cool with it. But I know a lot of people don't really want to run through the bloodline vibe again, but I wouldn't be mad at it. But I do think Oba's going to take the King of the Ring, and he's going to challenge Roman at SummerSlam, and we'll jump into that prediction later. Like I don't even want to make a choice. Like obviously, I hope Oba can do it, but I gotta sleep on that one. That one's going to take a little bit for me to actually figure out who I
Yeah.
think is going to win. Now, on the flip side, the Queen of the Ring, we do know, of course, Liv Morgan did defeat Charlotte, which put her into the finals with Iyo Sky. So that will be the match that we will see at Night of Champions, is Iyo Sky versus Liv Morgan. And obviously, it's a little bit of a weird spot because obviously Liv is already
Yeah,
world
I was
champion.
like, huh?
Yeah, so she's clearly trying to go after the second belt and try to give her being a double champion. Now, we've done this before. We did the whole the Becky two belts thing. I, I don't know if I need the Liv version right now with two belts.
Nope.
I feel like
Can't.
if we would have done this maybe like 2 or 3 months ago, when her and Dom were really on the Judgment Day, like they've been like with Dom doing a lot of the AAA stuff, and we haven't really seen him as much. I don't know if this would work necessarily right now. I need to be sold to me a little bit more. I don't need Liv as a double champion. I mean, if she's gonna pull double duty, she's gonna have to pull double duty and
I kind
defend
of
both
want
of these
Roxanne to
champions.
cost her the match.
Do you think that could be in the cards? I don't know.
I mean, well, Finn is no longer on Raw, so like that whole is like, oh, well, she's been talking to Finn is kind of that ship has sailed. So
Yeah, she can call him. Got a phone.
I don't know. It's like we talked about it a couple episodes ago. Is how Judgment Day has just gotten stagnant,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like again they're back in that same spot of okay, they're not really doing too much outside of like Liv just like constantly promoting her music and just Liv being Liv, which is good. But at the same time, it's like Judgment Day is now on a decline yet again as far as like engagement because as you said, Dom is mostly doing AAA stuff. JD is now lost in the shuffle because he was feuding with Finn and they were just like, okay, Finn, you're on SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that, and then that just leaves Raquel and Roxanne to kind of pull up that tag team women's thing.
Mm-hmm.
And though they are a good tag team, they're not the best women's tag team in the division. And again, they're also lost in the shuffle. Roxanne should have already been a women's champion by now.
Mm-hmm. I'll agree with that. I'll agree with that. But putting her next to Liv, I mean, putting her next to Liv wasn't necessarily a bad thing. She at least gets the enforcer label on her, but she should be challenging once again. You know, she had that unfortunate moment where, you know, when she was having like the skin condition issue. I know she had to kind of step aside for a little bit because that was when she was really
You're
she
talking
was in
about
full
Raquel or Roxanne?
Roxanne. No, Raquel. My bad, right?
Raquel. I was like,
Raquel.
okay, just making sure. Just
Yeah,
making sure.
Raquel. Like she was in her bag for a good straight. Like she was moving up, and then she ended up being off television for a good couple of months, which ended up slowing that whole process down. Roxanne, I feel like it's just waiting in the dark to get her opportunity. Like obviously, there's no money in the bank. Like I see Roxanne, if we do Money in the Bank, I see Roxanne winning Money in the Bank
Oh,
and then end up
100%.
cashing in the briefcase on Liv. Like that, I 100% see. And then I see, Finn showing up for the quick celebration with her, and that's kind of like, I don't want to say the dagger in Judgment Day, but that may end up being where things start to fall apart. Um, but yeah, no, they've just gotten stagnant. Like, I feel like they should have, like, obviously, Dom's AAA Mega Champion. They could have put the Intercontinental belt on him again and let him run with that for a while so we could see his face a little bit more. But obviously, jumping between Mexico and wherever Raw is going to be at isn't necessarily the easiest thing to
Yeah.
have to
From
keep doing.
Mexico to the UK to Saudi, like that's all. That travel schedule is insane. I mean, the travel schedule for everyone is insane, but that
Mm.
will be especially insane.
But once I'm inevitably, I think he's going to drop the AAA championship to El Grande Americano. I feel like that's where we are leading up to. And right now, Grande is so hot, like that. It just makes perfect sense. You let him do that, and then you can bring Dom back over and get him into the main view again. Him and uh, uh um dang it, I'm having a brain fart. OG Americano. Chad Gable. Goodness.
Chad
I don't know why I
Gable.
said it.
I don't know why I was just like, huh? You mean
Hey, bro,
Chad
I don't
Gable?
know. Hey, listen, this is that I need to go to sleep brain right now. And have them kind of like revisit things like, oh, so Chad, you failed over there. And I'm like, you failed too. You lost the AAA championship. And we start to see maybe that kind of feud pick up. Like, Chad he's trying to do his apologies. I know he tried to apologize to Otis, and Nakazawa, Tozawa, But Maxine was like, do not accept those apologies. Don't do that. Like, Maxine still sees him for who he was and how he was talking to him and how he treated them.
Which
It's
is
going to be a
granted.
while.
Yeah.
Crazy
But I do
enough.
think this could be the year we get Dom. Like, if everything does go down with the Judgment Day, I think this
Mhm.
will be like the moment where it's just like, all right, he's the AAA Mega Champion. Maybe this is like like redemption as champion with Ray, seeing as Ray's is the GM
Mhm.
in AAA, and I feel like that's how we start that rebranding of Dominik Mysterio.
Mhm. I don't even necessarily need to rebrand it. I think we keep Evil Dirty Dom right now for a while. Like, it's gonna be weird when
I mean,
he
he's
ends
been
up
Dirty Dom for like 3 years now.
keep
I
him.
don't know if you
I don't know
realize.
what you do with him when he turns face. Like, I don't need him. I don't need him to partner back with Ray again. That was cool. We got the father son moment. We did that in the beginning. Uh,
No, he just becomes like Cher and just be like Mysterio.
hmm. He just wears a mask even though we know who it is. I don't know. Probably be a little bit awkward, but could happen. But yeah, Liv become like, honestly. You know what? I hate to say this, but I don't know. Liv being double champion, it
Saves
could
the
do
group.
something. It could do
Saves the
something,
group.
but it's just they're gonna have to. Something's gonna have to seriously be put together for that to actually work. Because otherwise, I just don't want it to become a half-ass thing that we put together and go from there. It's going to be an interesting few weeks. It's going to be an interesting
Mm-hmm.
few weeks before we get to SummerSlam. Um, and then obviously, if Liv becomes double champion, she's going to have to go between both shows. I don't see them unifying the championships right now. I feel like it's too soon to
It's
do that.
100% too soon.
I feel like it's too soon. Like, unless we're going to lead that into the draft, but obviously, we almost got a whole year before we get to WrestleMania again. So I don't think that'll happen. But do I think Liv is going to beat Iyo? I don't think so. I think Liv will have her cronies that are going to show up, but Iyo's got backup. Like, obviously, like, I know Asuka. I don't think Asuka's actually gone from WWE. I believe she just,
Yeah, she's just
from what
on
I
a
understand,
hiatus.
she had like some personal stuff that she took some time off for.
Mm-hmm.
So not sure if that's gotten resolved, but if it has, you know what, that could definitely be backup that she has, and having Asuka come back, which would be a nice little plus to have. But we'll see. King and Queen of the Ring resolves this weekend at Night of Champions. We will crown our new ones, and they will get their shots at their respective championships at SummerSlam. So let us know what you guys think of how these brackets have formed and where we are at right now. Does Oba become King of the Ring? And he actually, listen, that don't, King of the Ring, the ruler, it all works out.
If
But
he
listen,
wins.
if he wins. But the sad part is, Chelsea Green would have been a perfect Queen of the Ring, and we dropped that ball. But
Twice.
we shall see. But let's go ahead. Let's shift gears. Change up on storylines. We talked a little bit about Cody, and this brings me to a topic that I want to talk about. What would happen, or what would things look like at this point if Cody would never have left AEW? Obviously, Cody leaving AEW and coming back to WWE has had some significant story element differences. And if you take him out of a lot of those, the last 3 years, 4 years are insanely and wildly different. Now, the biggest thing before Cody left, obviously, he had that stipulation because he lost that he would not be able to challenge for the world championship in AEW ever again. So I feel like that was probably gonna be a stopping point, other than the fact that he was EVP and he could have leaned into that just like the Bucks did.
Yeah, but he just didn't want to be heel.
But I feel like it could have worked. It could have worked for him.
Yeah, but you got to remember going into AEW, and even at a certain point in AEW, he was a heel. Mm-hmm. And I guess it's kind of like a maturing type thing, right? It's like, okay, I want to be that guy. Like he kind of like the John Cena rub is just like, I want to be that face of like this company. Like I want to show like this is what our company stands for. Like when you think of AEW, it's just like, okay, you think Cody Rhodes. Like I feel like that was probably like the mindset he had. And the fans just didn't want him to be a face. They wanted him to be a heel. And to be fair, like, hey, yo, if y'all haven't seen Cody Rhodes as a heel outside of Stardust, you are missing out. I strongly encourage you to go watch all the stuff he did on the Indies. Watch what he did in TNA as a heel. Watch what he did in New Japan as a heel. It's going to be totally different than what you've seen from the WWE product. But on the flip side, the main difference would be we probably would have got Roman Rock. The match would have been terrible. I'm just going to keep it a buck with y'all. Like the match would have been like 3 minutes, 5 minutes at most. And from there, John Cena probably would have won a lot sooner. We wouldn't gotten a heel run out of John Cena whatsoever. There would be Travis Scott may be there, but he would not be as involved as he was. We probably would have got a full bloodline from the Survivor Series Bloodline War Games. We would have had a complete bloodline at that point, because it wouldn't be Cody on one side, Cody, Roman, CM Punk on one side. It would have been like a full bloodline versus bloodline for, all right, total control. So I guess they would have pulled the trigger sooner on Jacob. They would have pulled it sooner on Tama Tonga, Tongaloa, and them. So they would have gotten in a lot faster. We'll still have
they would have made it? Do you think God would have actually made it to WWE?
Like, yes, 100%.
I feel like with Cody over in AEW, I feel like we may have had a little bit more of extension for the bullet. Like,
no, because the real reason, the reason why I say that is because when God left New Japan, they had an option before signing with WWE to go to AEW, and they said they weren't going to AEW. Well, I know Thomas said he wasn't going to AEW. So if Thomas not going, Tonga's not going. So and Hakilo ain't going. So like, to be fair, I'm not saying they're like the Good Brothers and they follow the money, but I am going to say that as Roman now said presently, is that he's like the one bringing in all the Samoans, like, hey, you get a Samoan, you get a Samoan, you get a Samoan. Like, that's like, he's like gatekeeping like his Samoan heritage of family members. So that still was going to happen regardless. I will say the issue is now we don't have someone to build up Solo. And we no longer had someone to give Seth his moments. Like he gets his moments, but like if you think of like Cody coming back and the 3 matches he had with Seth,
Mm-hmm.
like Seth wouldn't have had those moments. We wouldn't get to hear the whole banter between Seth winning the World Heavyweight Championship
Mm-hmm.
and Roman Reigns being the undisputed champion, WWE champion, and calling the title a secondary title, because at that point, like, people would still been chasing after Roman because he would still be in power.
Mm-hmm.
Who can we honestly say in the landscape with Cody gone is taking the belt off Roman, seeing as we were already 3-4 years in?
Yeah, definitely Seth. I feel like we probably would have gotten a nod with like Sami Zayn. Like I feel like we would have probably attempted
Sami
that
Zayn had
again.
his chance. Sami had his chance twice. KO had his chance. Like, I'm saying, granted, people, this is all, like, we all know it's storylines, and there
Hey,
are
but
winners
having
and there are losers.
that one person difference
And
makes a
quite
difference.
like right now, what was best for business is having the bloodline with the gold. I'm sorry, not with the gold, with all the gold.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is the same time the Usos are the undisputed tag team champions.
I can see that. And let's say with Cody
Oh,
leaving.
and we also don't get that the very unsatisfying Jimmy versus Jay match. We don't get that, which means we can build that up for an actual WrestleMania moment
Type thing. Now, do you think Cody leaving AEW helped WWE more than it hurt AEW? Or how do you feel about that?
I believe it helped WWE 100% more because I believe Cody, with his EVP knowledge, helped get CM Punk back into WWE.
I don't even know if the EVP knowledge even needed to be there after that falling out. Like I don't
Because he
think.
could just kept the boots late. Like, he was like, all right. He didn't, like, granted, he always, like, his whole biggest thing is like he wasn't going back to WWE because of like how they use them then, right? And the backstage politics and everything. With Cody being there, seeing as he helped facilitate CM Punk into AEW, I feel like he used those EVP strings that of that knowledge in WWE. All right, here's how we get these people. Like, I'm gonna tell you, let me give them a call. Let me be that olive branch. Let me be that bridge to mend those fences, you know?
Mm-hmm. Could be, and it
And
may not have seen a lot of the stars. Like a lot of the top talent that was producing an aid. I say that loosely a little bit because the people that had the look and elements that could have made them a main caliber superstar jumped ship and went to WWE, and obviously that I do believe Cody had a little bit of a hand in. So obviously the Jade coming over, Ricky Starks, Ricky Saints coming over. Obviously they're good friends, so I feel like we see those type of elements probably also not follow suit along if Cody never made it. And then obviously, like you said, the heel thing, I do feel like Cody would have turned heel and would have found the loophole that would have allowed him to challenge for the AEW
so
championship once again.
here's like my caveats to everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
If Cody stayed in AEW, we would not have the MJF we have right now.
Why you think that?
Because if Cody stayed in AEW, him being a heel would have overshadowed MJF.
Do you think? I don't know.
Yes, because you got to remember at this point in time, right? This is where MJF is still considered a rookie.
Very valid.
And he didn't really get that shine until Cody left, and they had the whole the fatal 4-way mentee battle royal.
Mm-hmm.
And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, it is MJF, Darby Allin, uh, Sammy Guevara, and I am missing one person that I know was there. It's going to eat me up. Darby Allin, MJF,
Jungle Boy? Was Jungle Boy in
Jungle
that?
Boy. Yeah,
Yeah.
Jungle Boy. And all of them had their mentor. MJF had Cody. Darby Allin had Sting.
Mm-hmm.
Sammy Guevara had Chris Jericho.
Mm-hmm.
Jungle Boy had Christian Cage.
Mm-hmm.
And in that fatal four way to become the number one contender, they were all using like their mentor's finisher as a nod.
Mm-hmm.
And we wouldn't, this goes back full circle, we wouldn't have the MJF we have today if Cody was still there, because Cody as a heel is phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Like it is it is pure art. And I'm not saying MJF is a heel, doesn't compare. I'm saying that he would still be under that Nightmare Family branding. I mean, he is still under the Nightmare Family brandings per se, but it's still like, okay, a heel Cody would be the equivalent of Roman Reigns in AEW. I mean, in WWE.
Yeah.
Let me rephrase that.
I think there would have been room enough for a heel Cody and a heel MJF. Like MJF's skills were improving year after year, like clockwork. And to have, it's rare nowadays to see two heels kind of in play at the same time. I feel like Cody's heel and MJF's heel could have played well off of one another.
You just got to remember that timeline is Cody left, MJF still a rookie, finding himself,
Mm-hmm.
inner circle, whatever, the Chris Jericho, whatever society, he's in that space. Turns on Chris Jericho, hires Wardlow. That is when we start getting he wins the ring tournament for the AEW ring or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That is when we get a full heel MJF.
Mm-hmm.
Is at that moment he gets the ring. That is when we start getting, oh, he's like a really good heel. And then it goes to he's our scumbag with the whole Adam Cole. All of that is the same trajectory. But none of that happens if Cody is still there, because he wouldn't why would he join Chris Jericho when he could be with Cody? Cody will have the bigger rub.
I'm not mad. I'm not mad at that assumption.
That also helps everyone else in that entire predicament, because then it wouldn't be known as the vortex that it is now whenever someone is partnered with Chris Jericho.
Okay, I'm not upset with that.
And then also Powerhouse Hobbs wouldn't be going to WWE. Jade may not be going to WWE. All these stars, they may not have gotten Stephanie Valkyrie. Like all of this plays into the fact, like these stars. I'm not saying, well, Stephanie up in
Stephanie,
the air,
I think Stephanie may have been the one that would have been the anomaly, because she wasn't actually under contract by AEW. She was kind of like on that independent type of thing. Like they bought her over, did a couple of one-offs. So I think she may have been an anomaly that I think WWE, because I know they were already looking at her. So I think that would have been one.
But I guarantee you, Cody would stop. Was like, hey, you don't need to be on an independent contract. Here, sign with us, whatever. And like we wouldn't have like so much stuff with like the Death Riders. Like it would still be a thing, but it wouldn't be in the current form that it's in. Daniel Bryan probably would have had a better send off than what he had as his final match. Like there's so many pieces that play a part in Cody still being with AEW. Yes, we don't ever see him start the whole finish the story thing in WWE, at least right now. But we could see is just like, okay, Tony, I'm gonna need you to chill back on the post. I need you to go to creative, say, hey, we're not gonna continuously talk about WWE. We're gonna do our own thing. All right, this is where Cody can go as a brand ambassador and be like, hey, why don't we do this? We have this thing called Forbidden Door. Why don't you send your top guy and we send our top guy and we have this? It could happen.
I don't even think if Cody would have still remained with AEW, I still don't think that would have even created the bridge between them and WWE. I feel like WWE AEW was directly and Tony Khan said it was trying to be in competing and be the alternate wrestling content for those to be able to absorb. So I don't think they would have ever knocked down the Forbidden Door from WWE. Would it be cool to see some of them interact and probably have
Hey, I'm telling you, it could happen because look, WWE is allowing TNA to do their stuff with WWE and vice versa. It can 100% happen because before that, it was TNA and AEW. Ring of
Yeah,
Honor,
but they severed a lot of
AEW.
those. They severed a lot of that. Like you don't see. That's why TNA pulled some of their stars off of the card because they didn't want Nick Nemeth was supposed to take on MJF, and he pulled Nick Nemeth off after everything got cleared. Pulled Nick Nemeth from being able to take on MJF,
Yeah,
which was
because of the WWE now having like, hey, why don't you send your stars to our NXT and our stuff and like use us to become to have better
yeah.
exposure.
They would have
I'm
never done
saying
that, even
that
with Cody
maybe
there.
those um company ties wouldn't have soured so badly or crumbled so easily if Cody was still in AEW.
I don't think they would have ever made even that bridge. Cody, yeah, has some leeway, but I don't think that bridge would have ever been crossed. That door would
And
have
if
been
Cody
nailed
was
shut.
there, we may not have had a whole uh Jungle Boy CM Punk situation.
Maybe, but I feel like that happened apart. Like I don't even know if Cody would have been able to interject in that. I think that was just an unfortunate thing, and yeah, I don't think Cody would have made a difference on that. But I think we're in agreement though that Cody leaving helped WWE more than it actually hurt AEW. I feel like we can agree on that. Because AEW, I mean, AEW's doing okay. I know we don't always fully agree
Cover.
with some of the stuff,
Yeah.
the stuff that they put together and the way that they do it. Like I know it's all about for them the wrestling and how we can have the opponents versus, but storylines still have to matter. That's probably one of my gripes. Like they don't really have those formulas for the storylines, so I think there's a little bit of a give and take with WWE and AEW when comparing them one for it. But yeah, definitely Cody
Oh,
had an
and keep in
impact.
mind, if Cody was there, I don't think WWE gets Penta.
Oh, that's another one. Oh, Ray Phoenix. Listen, there's
Bro,
a
I'm
whole bunch.
telling you.
So okay, now let's go through the list. Ray Phoenix, Penta, Jay Cargill, Ricky Starks, Powerhouse Hobbs. Um, am I missing? What's her name that was feuding with Tony Storm?
Mariah May.
Mariah May / I forget her name on NXT. That's another one that probably had a little bit of agreeing with him going over there. Uh, so at least I would say five. I'll take her out. I would at least say five strong candidates that definitely had direct ties to Cody that would have probably not have gone to the E without him. So definitely helps the E more than I feel like it hurt AEW. I feel like AEW just has so many people contracted that like when certain people leave, it was just like, oh, your time is here. Come on up. They
Maybe if
definitely have a
Cody was
bench.
still there, Alistair would still be there. He wouldn't have left. Maybe things would be better on Collision. Like there is just so many things that could have played in AEW's favor. Heck, if Cody was still in AEW, maybe when Bo and them got released before the whole Uncle Howdy and stuff, like after that, just like, yo, come to AEW, bring Bray's Dream here and continue it here.
That would
Because
be
it
cool.
has that John Hubbard and everything. For those of you who don't know, Brody Lee, aka his actual name is John Hubbard, good friends with Bray Wyatt. So it would all make sense. They would take over the Dark Order. Dark Order will be like AEW's version of the Bloodline, except without the actual Bloodline lineage. It's more so the Wyatt lineage and the Hubbard lineage and all of that. Like it would make so much sense.
I dig it. And I think that's going to be something we're going to have to, I feel like it's worth a conversation at some point, is the fall of the Dark Order. Because that obviously.
That's because the majority of the people went to TNA.
Yeah, that's valid. But that was, I feel like, after they
got
started,
either TNA or injured. And then left.
Yeah. I think we do have to have a discussion about that. But overall, though, Cody leaving AEW helped WWE more than it actually hurt AEW. I feel like it's where we're both kind of at on there for it. I dig it. So, guys, with that is going to wrap things up for this episode of The Finisher. Let us know your thoughts on the King and Queen of the Ring. And also, what are your thoughts on if Cody never left AEW, how would things have gone down that point? Make sure, drop some comments in the chat. Let us know your thoughts. But I think we can go ahead and shut things down.
Yes, sir.
Anything else you got before we wrap things up, Marcus?
No, sir. Time to close out the show.
Cool. So, guys, just remember, best place to go, loadingsnacks.com. Keep track of everything Loading Snacks oriented. You can catch some of the other content that we have. And, of course, follow us at The Finisher Podcast. Mondays and Fridays after Raw and SmackDown. Check out the 10-minute teardown with Kay. He loves having discussions after the show goes off. Like, the excitement my man has when each show ends, it's real. You guys should be there, be a part of it. But I think that wraps things up. For the homie Marcus, this is your boy Jokes. That's been your latest episode of the Finisher Podcast. We'll catch you on the next go-around. But until then, Marcus, let the folks know what they need to hear.
Sure. Just because your back is against the ropes doesn't mean you can't move forward. And with that, we're out.
Loading Snacks.